You check out online for a $40 pair of sneakers, and right there next to the pay button is a little option that says 4 interest-free payments of $10. No big deal. It's $10. You click it without thinking twice. Then, a week later, you're buying groceries, and there's a banner offering to split your $85 grocery bill into payments. Then your dentist's office has a payment plan app. Then your Uber Eats order has a pay later option for a $14 burrito. And here's the part that should actually scare you. You don't even notice it happening. There's no single moment where you decide to go into debt. There's just 100 tiny yes clicks that don't feel like debt at all, because nobody calls it that. They call it Klarna, they call it Afterpay, they call it Affirm, they call it buy now, pay later. Right now, roughly 1 in 4 Americans is using one of these services regularly, and the people using them the most are the people who can least afford to.
My name is Eric, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, debt, and why the financial industry keeps inventing new ways to make borrowing feel like it isn't borrowing. If you've ever wondered how an entire generation went from avoiding credit cards to splitting their burrito into 4 payments, hit subscribe and give this a thumbs up, because what I'm about to show you is one of the most quietly dangerous financial products in America right now. Let's establish how big this actually is, because I don't think most people understand how fast it took over.
According to Gallup, about 1 in 4 Americans now uses installment-style pay-later plans for online purchases. That's not a niche product anymore. That's tens of millions of people. And here's the stat that should make you sit up straight. Lower-income Americans use these plans more than higher-income Americans. This isn't a cash flow optimization tool for people with money. It's a product disproportionately used by people who are already financially stretched, and it's stretching them further. What's new isn't the concept of installment buying. What's new is the frictionlessness. It's baked directly into the checkout button of nearly every online store in America, available in 3 taps with 0 credit check in most cases, and 0 moment where your brain gets to ask, wait, am I going into debt right now? That's the whole trick. And today, we're going to pull it apart piece by piece.
Mechanism number 1, the business model. First question everyone should ask, but almost nobody does. How is this free? How is Klarna offering to lend you money with 0 interest? Companies don't hand out free loans out of the goodness of their hearts. Here's how it actually works. BNPL companies make most of their money from the merchant, not from you, at least on the surface. When you check out using one of these services, the retailer pays the BNPL company a commission, often 2% to 6% of the transaction. That's higher than a standard credit card swipe. So why would a retailer pay more? Because BNPL increases how much you spend. Studies show average order values jump 20 to 30% when a pay in 4 option is available at checkout. The retailer pays the fee to get you to spend more than you would have otherwise.
And here's why that works. $80 feels like a real purchase, something you have to think about. $20 feels like nothing. Same $80, same product, same bank account it's coming out of, but your brain processes $20 today as a snack-sized decision instead of an actual financial commitment. The BNPL company knows this. The retailer knows this. You're the last one in the transaction to fully clock what's happening. But the merchant fee is only half the story. The other half, the part that makes these companies real money, comes from people who don't pay on time. Miss a payment and you're hit with late fees, often $7 to $10 flat. On a $50 installment, that's an effective interest rate that would make a credit card blush. Annualized, missed payments can translate into triple-digit effective interest rates on a loan that said 0% APR on the label.
So here's the honest business model. BNPL earns from retailers by boosting your spending through psychological framing, and earns from consumers, disproportionately the most financially stretched ones, when they slip on repayment. The system is designed so that even the free version has a built-in mechanism to extract money from people least able to absorb it. Mechanism number 2, invisible debt accumulation. Now, here's why this is more dangerous than the debt it's replacing. With a credit card, there's one number to look at, one statement, one balance, one due date. Messy as credit card debt gets, you can open one app and see the full picture.
BNPL doesn't work like that. You don't have one BNPL account. You have a Klarna plan from those sneakers, an Afterpay plan from your kid's school supplies, an Affirm loan from a mattress, a Sezzle plan from a birthday gift. Each one lives in a different app on a different payment schedule, pulling from your account on a different day of the week. There is no single dashboard showing you the total, so your brain never adds it up. You're not thinking, I owe $640 across 5 payment plans. You're thinking, I have a $25 payment due Thursday. Over and over, one disconnected transaction at a time. I call this payment fragmentation blindness. It's debt specifically structured to never feel like a debt total. And the data backs this up. Frequent BNPL users are often the people already living closest to the edge, which makes sense, because if your budget had real slack, you wouldn't need to split an $85 grocery order into 4 payments in the first place.
Let's make this real with a household we'll call the Reyes family. Combined take-home pay of $4,800 a month. Fixed expenses, rent, car, utilities, groceries, gas, a credit card minimum, come to about $3,500 a month. That leaves $1,300 of breathing room. Not luxurious, but workable. Now let's layer in a moderate BNPL habit. Nothing reckless, just normal shopping over 2 months. A $180 pair of work boots on Afterpay, 4 payments of $45. Kids' school supplies, $240 on Klarna, 4 payments of $60. A $95 birthday gift on Sezzle, 4 payments of $24. A $310 emergency car repair on Afterpay because there wasn't cash on hand, 4 payments of $78. None of these felt like a big decision. All completely understandable purchases. But now here's what's hitting their account on a rolling basis. Somewhere between $250 and $400 a month in staggered BNPL withdrawals from 4 different apps on 4 different days. That $1,300 breathing room just shrank to $900. And nobody sat down and decided to commit $300 a month to installment debt. It just accumulated, one checkout click at a time, until it behaved exactly like a fixed cost, but was invisible on any single screen. Now it's month 3. The car needs a $650 real repair, non-negotiable. The car has to run. That same week, 3 BNPL payments are already scheduled. $45, $60, $78. That's $183 already committed and automated. The account runs thin. The BNPL payments bounce. The bank charges a $32 overdraft fee per event. The BNPL providers charge their own late fees. One bad week, caused by an ordinary car repair, not reckless spending, cascades into $80 to $100 in combined fees on top of the original emergency. And because the debt was invisible, nobody saw it coming. Here's the number that should reframe all of this. If the Reyes family redirected just $300 a month, roughly what was quietly bleeding to BNPL payments, into a basic index fund earning 7% annually, over 5 years, that's over $21,000. Same monthly amount, same family, same effort. The only difference is which direction the money is flowing. The entire checkout experience is engineered to prevent the one thing that would stop most of this before it starts: a moment of pause. A credit card application at least involves a form, a visible interest rate, a conscious decision to open a line of credit. BNPL removes all of that. No hard credit check, no interest rate displayed prominently, no form. Just a button sitting next to the one you were already about to press anyway. Faster checkout conversion is the entire commercial incentive for both the retailer and the BNPL provider. And the thing that makes checkout faster is the exact same thing that makes debt accumulate invisibly: removing the pause. That's not an accident of bad design. That's the design goal. So here's the actual framework for using these tools without letting them restructure your budget without your permission. Step 1. Before you click Pay in 4 on anything, ask yourself one question. Could I pay for this in full right now? If the honest answer is no, that's not a green light to split it into payments. That's your budget telling you you can't afford this purchase. Full stop. BNPL doesn't change whether you can afford something. It only changes how visible that truth is in the moment.
Step 2. If you do use BNPL for a planned purchase, write the total commitment somewhere you'll actually see it. Not the $20 payment due Thursday, but the full $80, alongside every other active plan you're carrying. The entire danger of this product is fragmentation. The entire fix is forcing yourself to look at the unfragmented total.
Step 3. Never run more than one BNPL plan simultaneously unless you've specifically budgeted for every payment from every plan landing in the same week. The overlap is exactly what turns a tight week into an overdraft cascade. Step 4. Treat every BNPL payment exactly like a minimum credit card payment in your monthly budget. A fixed, mandatory line item that gets accounted for first, not squeezed in around whatever's left.
The version of you who pays cash for what you can afford today and waits for what you can't is going to be in a fundamentally different financial position 5 years from now than the version of you who lets a dozen small, invisible payment plans quietly define your monthly budget instead of the other way around. That's the whole trick behind Buy Now, Pay Later. It's not that it's a scam. It's that it's built intentionally by very smart people with very specific commercial incentives to make borrowing feel like nothing at all, right up until the moment it doesn't. And by then, most people are already in too deep to trace how they got there.